What up, it's Brandon here. Welcome to Blader News, your #1 rollerblade news source. Now, we don't actually have that much to talk about, but let's just jump into it with the newly named industry news. First off, we have a somewhat funny story coming from the latest pro announced for them skates. A sick edit was posted by them goods, confirming that Gavin Drumm is their latest pro, but not before he publicly outed Roces on his Instagram story. Gavin posted a screenshot of what appears to be an email from Roces explaining a final proposal of what they'll pay him if he chooses to become pro with them. On top of the screenshot, Gavin has put, "Thanks, but no." At a quick glance, the deal that Roces is making out for him seems like a really good deal, with him getting about 7k just this year. But with a closer look, you can see that this must have been an email from a long time ago, because it does say from the 1st of April to December he'll get just under 7k in euros, which, when you think about it, 7k over 8 months is really not that good, especially when comparing the skate royalties that them skates has compared to Roces, with the $2.50 per skate compared to $10 to $15 that them skates has. So no wonder Gavin Drumm chose them skate. Like, who wouldn't? It's an obvious choice, right? And that's just even more proof as to why you should be trying out some them skates, because John, he's doing such a good job. He's supporting the pro rollerblades so much better than all the other companies. It's on a completely another level, so shout out to John. In my opinion, though, this was a pretty dick move of Gavin to do, to publicly out Roces like that, because you know everyone has a secret kind of weird shade for Roces, being that they have been out of the game for a long time and they're an OG company and they're not skater owned, and how they kind of screwed John over a little bit. But just the deal they're giving him here isn't actually that bad when you compare it to some other skate companies. If you talk to anyone that was pro for raises, sometimes they weren't getting paid anything. So, you know, Roces isn't that bad. They probably didn't deserve that, in my opinion. But I do appreciate him posting this screenshot, because it's a cool insight into what the life of a pro is like and how much money they can make. And I totally get why he did it, and it's absolutely hilarious that he did do it. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Roces deserved that kind of public outing? Or do you think Gavin took it a bit far and he should have kept it private? But anyway, moving on to a much happier story. We've got a clip from Brian Shima, seeing that he's back on skates and he's back ripping up at Woodward. If you don't know Brian Shima's story, Brian Shima, he's a legend of rollerblading. He's up there, you know, with Chris Happy and Alex Brosco. He's one of the OGs. It's real sick. He had his own skate company for a bit, and he hasn't been able to skate for the last 4 years after this horrific bail that I'll show you right now. Just that fall there, that crazy roof drop, he managed to shatter his heels to the point where they had to get screwed back together. There's some horrible Instagram clips Instagram pictures he posted here, and he couldn't even walk for quite a bit. So it was looking like he'd probably never get to skate again. But you know, 4 years later, I think it might be even longer than 4 years if I'm honest. But he's back on skates, and it's not like he's taking it easy. He's doing hard. I'm super glad to see him back on skates. He's actually the only pro rollerblader whose signature I have. So I have a Magazino one at one point that Brian Shima has signed, and I'm super glad to hear that he's back on skates, and I'm sure he'll be killing it in no time, even with his injuries, you know. So all the best to you, Brian Shima. Moving on though, we got some more industry news. Seba, the super high quality rollerblade company, and its popular FR series have just split into 2 separate companies. If I'm honest, I don't know too much about this topic. It's more on the urban rollerblading side of rollerblading, and I'm not in that scene too much, but from what I can tell, they've split because Seba wanted to try doing some more cheaper, not so good manufacturing, and have a different kind of line of skates, going from like cheap and crap to still super good and high quality like they are now. And FR didn't want to do that to their skate series. They wanted more control, so they just split off and did their own thing. I'm glad FR did it. I'm pretty sure FR is the original creators and designers for the skates, so it's cool that they're doing their own thing now, and you should definitely support them. CJ skates for them, and he seems to be staying with Seba from what I can tell. FR seems to be more of less of an aggressive skate company, so makes sense. But I think there was a bit up there where the Seba skates were up for grabs, but he seems to have gone with Seba. In my opinion, this is a pretty good situation. The more brands of skates we have, the better. Especially, you know, having a cheaper price range in skates isn't that bad. It could be good for getting people in. It could be bad though if they're badly manufactured. So guess we'll see what Seba has to say. And it's cool that FR's still sticking around with its own thing, so this is a win-win to me. What do you guys think? Is this good? Is this bad? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be in there. But speaking of CJ, we have some news related to him. If you've seen his Instagram, he's taken a pretty hard fall. He's bleeding from the face. Not good, right? I actually DM'd him myself, asking if I could know more about what happened, as well as whether he's staying with Seba. But as soon as I sent that DM, I checked his Instagram, and it turned out that he had already posted the clip of what happened. Here it is here. So that's super embarrassing. I don't blame him for not replying. So but I'm learning. We'll get there, right? CJ's such a good skater, man. He's always flying around at 100 miles an hour doing back sabs and stuff. So I'm surprised he hasn't had a fall like this before, not gonna lie. And even in the clip, it doesn't look like something. It's always the things that you don't expect, right? It looked like a whole lot of bad luck there. He shouldn't have fallen on his face. But yeah, I wish him all the best. Hope he heals up soon. It's another good example of why you should wear a helmet, right? But, you know, do what you want. Moving on though, we had one of the coolest events of the year, which is Rollerblade weekend at Woodward. This year's one was a huge success. By the sounds of it, everyone was super well behaved, so this could be a continuing thing from now on, and it can keep growing. You can check out this little edit I saw if you want to see what happened. It looked like a really good time. I really hope I can make it there someday. That'd be my absolute dream. I really want to go to Woodward one day. It looks absolutely amazing. If you want to know more about it too, you should check out the Jump Street podcast, because they did a whole episode live from there, and it's really good listen. It's really good to hear the side of the two guys setting up this event and how well it's going and how the years to come are going to be dope. So speaking of events, we have another event coming up real soon. That's Blade Cup. Looks like it's going to be a really good turnout. A lot of people coming from overseas by the sounds of it. Make sure if you're near the event that you go check it out, because it's going to be sick, man. If you're there, why not? It's going to be a whole lot of pro skaters there. It's going to be, you know, your boy Back to Blading's going to be there. And speaking of Back to Blading, if you want to see content around this event, you should definitely check out his channel, because I know he's got a few videos going. He's even got a 50/50 booth out there. And yeah, I wish I was going, if I'm honest. Moving on though to the newly named product news. That's a much better name, right? So we have the USD Shaddows again. We had some clips come from Chris Farmer showing them off. They're definitely coming out this year. That's what I've been told by Powerslide. So you can stay tuned for that. I'm sure they're going to do super well, and I hope they do. On top of that, they also have these 3 other skates. Pretty sure some of them carbon freeze. Some new pro skates coming out. They're all leaked by Head On Skate Shop, which is interesting, right? Even if you Google the name of the skate now and Google images, it comes up with the pictures, but when you click on the website, the link doesn't load, so it's weird. I think they're definitely a thing. I know Eugen, I still can't say his name, man. One day I'm going to be able to say his name. But Eugen, he tweeted saying, do you think these are real or not? I'm pretty sure they're real. On top of that, we also have Roces coming out with the SL Mint skate. I'm not the biggest fan. When I first saw the pictures of it, I thought it was really cool. I was always tempted to go back to Roces, but after seeing someone ride them in a clip, I can't stand them. It's too bright. Not for me. And as well as that, we also have some white Dem skates lines spotted in this Instagram picture, which is interesting. Makes me wonder what's coming. My lines are pretty smashed out now. I wouldn't mind some new Dem skates ones, and the only ones with the hood, so you know, you kind of lose that Dem skates look if you don't stick with the Dem liner, but we'll see, I guess. We also saw the Wizard frame. We got a little teaser for one with 5 wheels on Shop Task's channel. Highly recommend checking out Shop Task's channel. It's absolutely sick. They actually subbed to me too, which is pretty cool, so shout out to them. In my opinion, the Wizard frame is such a good idea. I really like the idea of giving people who have gotten a bit too old to be doing aggressive skating something similar to do, and they look like a lot of fun, very fast and very smooth. I'd love to try them out someday. Sadly, I can't afford it, but maybe one day, right? And that's it for product news. Let me know if you're hyped about any of this stuff. I know I'm hyped for a couple of them. What's your thoughts on all the new boots coming out? Yeah, moving on though, we have some media I want you guys to check out, and I have so much this week, it's not even funny. Like, I couldn't choose. I was trying to choose the ones that I want to recommend, but let's be real, they're all pretty sick. I want you to check them all out, so. Speaking of the Wizards, we're going to start off with Dustin Jamieson's Wizards skating, and this is by far the craziest video I've seen in so long. He's skating the wizard frames like an aggressive frame. He's hitting rails off grass. It's a really good watch. Highly recommend it. Now we have Vibrolux released some clips of Alex Brosco in 2008, which is really cool to see. It's cool to see what he was like when he was little. It's just like this other video I saw as well with Nils Jansen when he was little. It's like these people have always been good. There's been no point where they weren't super insane at rollerblading. On top of that, we have Martin Danning's Roces profile, and my girlfriend reckons he looks like me, and I almost have to agree. He kind of does look like me, but younger and cooler. So it's a really cool video. Highly recommend it. We also have Don Brambrick's Pro for Create Originals, a really sick creative edit. And if you're looking for something to read, I have a couple articles to recommend. BMag's got a couple really interesting ones. First one's with John Julio, and so we get an even better look into why he left his partnership with Roces. And as well as that, we got a quick talk with Martin where he talks about his life and how, you know, if you don't have someone hating on you, ain't doing life right. So highly recommend check them out. They'll be linked in the description as well as all the other videos. There's also a bunch of sick VODs coming out as well. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many. We got E3 of Eugen, as well as Gromby with Sneaky, Corey Waikiki, and finally Forsmo, which everyone has talked about being one of the best edits of the year, so I highly recommend checking all of them out. They'll all be linked in the description. Go support your fellow pro rollerbladers. Fellow. And that's actually where we're going to end it today. But before that, I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone on Reddit who helped me out today, especially the first guy who knocked out his front teeth when he was having a pretty hard time, so I hope you get that sorted out soon, man. It sounds real rough. Remember, let me know your thoughts on any of the stories talked about today. I'll be in there talking to you. Remember, if you have a story you want me to talk about, you can tweet me at Blading News. I'd appreciate the help, and I'd love to know what you guys actually want to hear about. You can also just let me know in the comments too. I'll be down there like I've said. But yeah, that's it for the news. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Huge shout out to my Patreons, Deb, Dennis, and Jason. And I'll see you guys on Monday. So peace out.